Welcome and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Linked On, your number one show on the internet with me, Brian, linkjapancareers.net, here to bring you more good news and tips and information about living and working in Japan. Uh, First of all, stop by our site, linkjapancareers.net. Stop by our social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and YouTube. Like our stuff and share with your friends, comment, hit the subscription bell, and all of that good stuff. So today, I've got some interesting things to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is taboo topics in an interview. This being Japan, you could go into an interview with a perfectly normal company and they could ask you some things which would be considered unacceptable. And no doubt, if you're living here in Japan, you've probably been asked some questions that would be considered unacceptable to ask someone normally in your country. And you might have been offended or something. You realize it's a kind of cultural difference that they have in this country. So some of those may actually transfer into the interview. So I want to go over some of these so that you're not shocked when you go to an interview and you could be asked some of these questions. So let's bring these up here, and I'll also resize my screen like this and bring this up to the top here, so you can bring this up a bit. And let's talk about some of these. So some things that might be in a Japanese interview that you might think could be considered taboo. First would be a question about your age, how old you are, and so on. Age is seen as a kind of respect, and also it's a way of establishing hierarchy in a Japanese company. So they're going to ask you, maybe they'd ask you something about your age, like, do you feel like you are, if you're young, do you feel like you're, old enough to take on this kind of responsibility? Are you mature enough? Or if you're a more experienced person, do you think that you can work with younger people, and so on. So you may have some questions related to those type of things, right? Two, it says sex. Some things may be quite backwards, to be honest. If you are a man and you're going into a traditionally female-oriented field, they may ask you, do you think it's okay for a man to do this job? And the inverse, if you're a female going into a typically male-dominated field, they may ask you, do you think it's okay for a woman to do this kind of job? You may think that's backwards. I probably agree, but they may say these kind of things. The most important thing is to not be offended in the interview to the point that it shuts down the interview, and it's best to leave the interview and then be offended then, right? They may also ask you things about your address, particularly what part of the city you're living in or the station you're near or so on. They want to judge like the socioeconomic class of a person by the location where they live, in a way, right? People ask me, where I live, and I live in, outside of Tokyo, and I tell them, and they go, oh, okay, like that. Certain places, though, are associated with certain socioeconomic levels, right? They may say, for example, the Shitamachi area in Tokyo could be associated with a working class background, whereas other parts of Tokyo, Azabu or someplace, might be associated with more wealthy people, things like that. Number 4, they may ask you about your marital or relationship status, right? And they want to think, can they place you in a placement where you could be assigned to go to another part of the country and work in another office or another branch. Probably one of the things that they're thinking about. And another thing along that line, could be the um, are you going to be able to take a promotion which involves something like that, or are you in a relationship that's going to later affect the uh, personnel decisions of the company, right? So that's one thing. And the 5th one here, the dependence or the childbearing plans. Well, in a way, I think that they are trying to accompany or to be accommodating to families and to companies or families with small children. That's one thing. And I don't think it's really right to ask about childbearing plans like as such, but they do ask about it. And if you are a woman, you may want to shy away from the question, or you may want to say no. What you want to say is entirely up to you. I don't think it has anything to do with the job, but it's going to tell you that they are a more conservative type of company, definitely. And that may affect your decision to accept an offer, actually, more than their decision to make an offer, right? So that's one thing. My point about these is not to be shocked, visibly shocked, when they say something along these lines to you, and you think, wow, in my country, they could never ask this. It's illegal to ask this kind of thing, or it's just socially unacceptable to say these kinds of things. How can these people be seriously asking me these things with a straight face? They do, right? So this is the kind of true information that I want to bring you guys in this show, in the here. So when you are spending your time, you're getting the information that's true, right? And that way you'll know when you go in and somebody says something to you, you'll have heard it before, right? And at least have that to help you react, right? So that's the first thing I'm going to talk about today. And guys, be on the lookout for that. Another thing today is, let's bring this down. We have 2 new jobs on linkjapancareers.net, so definitely go by and check out these 2 new jobs. First one that we have here is job 355. This is the app drama assistant, right? So this is in Tokyo, and the salary rate is 290 to 416, so it can get up there. Based in Chiyoda area, visa sponsorship available, Japanese business level, able to communicate in the office. N2 would be a good thing to have. English native level. It doesn't require a native speaker, but it requires a native level. Very, very fluent, though. If you're from a non-typically English-speaking country, you should be very extremely fluent. This company is making romance games, like mobile games, not a maybe dating simulator or a romance simulator game, for primarily oriented at ladies, at women. And so they're going to want to have writers and assistants, people who are going to be kind of involved in the production of the storyline and the content materials, right? So if you are into that kind of anime or manga or that kind of game fan thing, you're into that kind of thing, then this might be a really good position for you, right? So make an application on our site, job 355, app drama assistant. It's right at the top. You go to linkjapancareers.net, right at the top, find jobs. It's right there. All right. So this is the first new job that we have today. The second new job we have today coming up is job 356 here, which is, bring this out of it, IT software developer, again in Tokyo and Shinagawa area. 230 to 340 is the starting salary. That's the base monthly. This has 3 bonuses a year, right? So you're going to add 3 bonuses to this amount for your annual salary. So you would think that it would be well over between 3 and 4, maybe more million a year. It only requires 1 year of working experience in Japan. So if you are an ALT or if you're in English teaching and you have some coding background and 1 year experience and a JLPT N1, you can move into this. Or if you have an N1 or equivalent and you have been working somewhere for 1 year and have some coding skills, and I think it says, let's check it here. It says they are looking for skills in, no, that's not it. They are looking for skills in, let me go back one. All right. They are looking for skills in Java, C, C++, or PHP. So having a degree of knowledge for that, and having some experience and knowledge of coding can be formal or self-taught. So this can be the kind of person who maybe is a hobbyist or has some experience, self-taught, or had some in university, came over and did some teaching, wants to get back into the IT world. These people will take care of you. They'll have a very thorough orientation and training process to decide what type of team you can team up with and what kind of projects you can go to. They do a lot of different projects. Some examples that were on here were customer management platform development, business to customer service web development, application infrastructure development for AI, music contents distribution system, and so on. So very broad type of various projects that they might be doing, and you can get in there. It's a brand new job on our site. We're going to have new jobs coming out every week for the near foreseeable future. And so check our page, come back, keep checking our page. We're going to have new jobs coming up every week. And, there's hiring still going on. Honestly, the COVID situation has probably reduced hiring by 30%, but there's still hiring going on, and you can still get a job, and there are employers still looking for people, plenty of them, right? And we're going to be bringing out more new jobs and introducing people for new jobs. We also have the ability to match people now. So if you don't see a job on our page, but you're interested in the kind of jobs that we have, we can take your registration when you register on our site and, just drop us a message, say, can you guys match me with something? Can you match me with this? I have this experience, right? And we can go and look and we can see if there's something else that we can match you with that's not listed on our site, right? Because we can look at these things and went on. So that's the two new jobs, and let me move these down. And next thing we're going to come to here, last week we also talked about Interac positions. So here's the map, as you can see, same as last week, basically. I do have some applications for various positions going on. But you can see I have a lot of positions available. These are where Interac positions are available across Japan. From up in here, actually up in Sapporo at the top here, Aomori, along here, Tohoku, Miyagi, Fukushima, Iwate, Tokyo area, some more central ones, Chiba, Yokohama, Tokyo, Toyama out here. Get a lot of people visiting the ads for Toyama. So if you are in this area, in the Hokuriku area, Toyama may be a place for you. It's a beautiful place. Also, down in here, Hamamatsu, Shizuoka, down in here, central area, Mie, Nara, Aichi, these kind of places, right? Wakayama, Shiga, down in here. And West Japan here, these blue ones, Kagawa, Kochi, Okayama, Hiroshima, Fukuoka, Kumamoto, Kagoshima, some of these other places down here in Kyushu definitely have jobs there. So come to our site, come to linkjapancareers.net, click on Find Jobs. There's a tab on the right side, Interac Jobs. Go there, find the position, and sign up for it. If you have any questions about it, drop us a line, contact us on Facebook. Easiest way actually is to come to our page, and there's a chat box on our page. Click that chat box, type in your question, send it on. Make sure you use your name, your real name, and your email so that we can look you up in our system. Some people will go to the chat box and they'll type their name in as Flowery Special Sunday or something, and they'll either not put in an email or they'll put in a fake email, and then I can't reply back to them and I can't give them any help, right? So make sure you use your real name and your real email, and ask us whatever you want to ask, and I'll try to find you a job. If you're in one of these areas, please definitely contact me and we'll try to find your job, right? We have some other jobs on the board still, same as last week. Check us out, linkjapancareers.net, and some hotel jobs are on there too. But we're going to be bringing out new jobs every week. Let me take a look here and see if we have any questions this week. Pizzo Howdy says, Konnichiwa from South African. Hey Pizzo, how are you? Thanks for stopping by, Pizzo. And really, if you are anywhere in the world listening right now, Japan, I believe, is going to open up. We have, in my area here, has been 8 days since we had any new coronavirus cases. And where I'm living is a city the size of Chicago, so about a couple million people, and we had 125 cases. Very, very low number. A lot of places in Japan actually had a very low number overall, and something like 5,000 or something for the whole country is 120 million people. It's a very low number, and I think that Japan is going to be, when this is over, one of the examples of a country that's been relatively healthy and came through the situation in pretty good condition. So I would say to you guys that Japan's still going to be very much an option for living and working overseas. Make an application on our page. We're not done for 2020. I'll tell you that 2020 is not over, and you can definitely come in 2020, early 2021. We're going to still be in business, and we're still going to need people if you're overseas. I got Interac jobs. Those aren't going away. Those are going to be continuing. So make an application, and we'll see you here in Japan. Guys, one last quick check here. Pizza says, good, how are you doing? Haha, thank you. Well, thank you, Pizza. Thank you for coming by, right? And everyone else who came and saw the video today, thank you. And stop by our page, linkjapancareers.net. Talk to you next.